and welcome back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. This early Wednesday morning video is a preview of this evening's game between Celtic and FC Kairat Almaty of Kazakhstan. This is the final playoff round for this year's Champions League. First leg is tonight at Celtic Park, 8 p.m. kickoff. Game's live on TNT Sport. Second leg game will be next Tuesday in Almaty in Kazakhstan. Not the easiest place to go to due to the heat and altitude and long travel distances. And so Celtic will be looking to take a nice comfortable lead into the second leg. In this video, we're going to have a wee look at my predicted lineup. Also my prediction as to what Brendan Rodgers would go for and what I would personally go for myself if I was selecting the team. We look at the key Kairat Almaty players, my own prediction regarding the score, and also briefly touching on a few issues from the Tuesday afternoon press conference by Brendan Rodgers, one or two wee transfer rumours as well. So, as I say, later this evening, Celtic will be taking on Kairat Almaty, first leg of this final playoff round. I would put Celtic to be strong favourites to get a good, strong win tonight, take a good lead into the away leg in 6 days' time. Kairat Almaty likely to be well organised, trying to be primarily defensive and then using their talented attacking players to hit us on the break. In terms of a predicted lineup, my prediction suggestion is a wee bit different from what I think Brendan Rodgers will go for. I would go with Schmeichel in goals, Alza Johnston, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Austin Trusty and Kieran Tierney as the back four. I'm pretty sure Rodgers instead will go with Liam Scales at left centre-back and then swapping in Austin Trusty after about 60-70 minutes, taking off Kieran Tierney and moving Scales out wide on the left. I'm just a wee bit concerned with the likely pace of the Kairat Almaty forward players, that Scales might be caught out. I think Trusty and Carter-Vickers are a much better bet there. And also, those two are better at bringing the ball out of defence and setting up new attacks than Scales is. But I think Rodgers, as he usually does, will be loyal to Liam Scales. In midfield, Callum McGregor and Rio Tati, and my suggestion is to go with Arnie Engels. I think dead ball situations, corners, direct free kicks could be very important. I think it is an area where Celtic could exploit things. Their set pieces have improved quite considerably over the last season or so. And Engels, obviously, against Falkirk was a very major factor with the dead ball situations and corners. Instead, I'm pretty sure Rodgers will instead go with Benjamin Nygren in midfield, using James Forrest and Dyson Maida as the two wide players and Adam Ida through the middle. But personally, I would use Forrest and Yang coming off the bench, and Nygren out wide on the right, and again around about the hour mark, dropping Nygren from wide out on the right and bringing him into central midfield, and then using Forrest and Yang out wide and swapping Maida in through the middle. Or if Celtic are needing an extra goal or two, maybe going with Yamada and Maida as two attacking options at the same time. But we'll see how all that pans out. In terms of a predicted score, I'm going to go for a nice comfortable 3-0 win for Celtic. I would love to predict a bigger gap than 3, but I think Kairat Almaty will come well organised, shut up shop and make it difficult make it difficult for Celtic to score. But I think things will go well for Celtic and they will get a nice 3-0 win. Now, looking at the key players for Kairat Almaty, they have a very good, reliable goalkeeper in Zaruski. They've got two big, strong, powerful, tall central defenders, the Russian Sorokin and their captain Martinovic, who's a Belarus international. Um, he's very, very experienced. Also can be a goal threat at times too. They also have a young under 21 international, Kazbulat, who sometimes plays as a central defender, but um, plays plays in a defensive midfielder role instead. And we may see him at some point in tonight's game in that position. They also have two experienced Israeli internationals who play in defensive midfield for them, Arad and Glazer. Sometimes both play, sometimes just Arad plays, and we'll see how they set up. As I say, Grumiko, their talented Belarusian attacking midfielder, will be missing tonight through yellow card suspensions. He could well be quite a big threat in the away leg in 6 days' time. They also have Georgi Zaria, Georgian international. He's had one or two disciplinary problems, and so I'm not certain whether he will be eligible for tonight's game. Their star player is the 17-year-old Kazakhstan full international Dastan Satpiev. He's going to be a Chelsea player from the summer of 2026 onwards. He's scored three Champions League goals so far in their qualifier 6 games, and he's their main goal threat also in Kazakhstan League football. And their other big goal threat, both in domestic football and in this year's Champions League qualifiers, has been the Portuguese player Jorginho. He's also scored 3 goals in the qualifiers so far. They quite often away from home play in an attacking midfield role behind a target man centre forward Ed Milson. And often when they're playing at home, they then go into a more 4-3-3 formation, more attacking formation. And Jorginho and Satpiev often then play up alongside or just off of the target man in a much more forward position. So those are the key players, I think, for Kairat Almaty. In terms of their usual formation away from home, they typically set up in a 4-2-3-1, sometimes a 4-3-2-1. And when they go to 4-3-2-1, it's usually Kazbulat, their centre back, who steps forward into defensive midfield. And usually away from home, as I say, Jorginho and Sapiev, rather than playing as out and out strikers, drop a bit deeper into attacking midfield roles. One of the key factors, I think, the support of the Celtic fans, hopefully creating a very partisan, noisy atmosphere favouring Celtic, intimidating the Kazakhstan players. I don't think any of them probably will ever have experienced a noise and atmosphere like Celtic Park on a European night. And I'm very hopeful that Celtic get off to a nice, strong, powerful start and the crowd get right behind the players right from minute one. And that some of the Kazakhstan players and the players playing for Kairat Almaty might get a wee bit intimidated and distracted and make some errors. Now, moving on to Brendan Rodgers' press conference, he was asked about the possibility of Jamie Vardy signing for Celtic. He seemed to discount that um, um, possibility, although was fairly non-committal. I personally can't see the sense of signing Jamie Vardy to Celtic, 38 years old. Pretty sure Jamie Vardy would score goals in domestic Scottish football, but I don't think he's going to be a goal threat for Celtic in Europe. And also at 38, obviously, if he's in a team, that's going to stifle the career progression of Ida, Yamada, Maeda, Osmond, Kenny, etc. as well. And so I think the Vardy story is one that's been created by the press and put forward by a lot of Jimmy Vardy's friends from his English Premier League and English international days. I don't see it as really a viable option for Celtic. Brendan Rodgers also kind of confirmed that Marco Tilio and Stephen Welsh will be both leaving the club at the end of the transfer window on loans. Although there are one or two wee rules and regulations that Celtic and the loaning club have to sort out, as Celtic are restricted to 6 international loans in one season. Rodgers also hinting that Hayato Inamura might be off on loan, although it was non-specific as to where that would be. I think personally Hayato Inamura would be best being kept at Celtic, kept alongside the other 3 Japanese players and given time off the bench and occasional starts against teams such as Falkirk, Livingston, etc., and also in League Cup and Scottish Cup games against lower level opponents. I think he's going to learn much more remaining at Celtic, along with the support and camaraderie of his other Japanese players, and working alongside Celtic's first team coaches rather than going off and playing for St Mirren or Kilmarnock, etc., where he won't be learning the Celtic ways, won't be learning the setup, etc. at Celtic. But we'll see how that transpires. If Rodgers decides to send him off on loan, I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen, because very rarely does Brendan Rodgers ever change his mind or go back on a good decision or a bad decision. And that's kind of also been shown by how well Tomoki Iwata has done at Birmingham and how well Kwon has started off in French league football with an apparently very, very impressive debut against Paris Saint-Germain, where he was rated as the best midfielder on the pitch. However, Rodgers certainly would never admit that he was wrong regarding his assessment of any player. Again, Rodgers seemed a bit irritated and annoyed about getting questioned more and more and more about transfers coming in, transfers not going through, and how he's going to sort out his squad, etc. Getting a wee bit boring listening to the same question being asked in 5 different ways. Most important thing, I think, is for the fans to get behind the players, to get behind the club, and not let any of these transfer stories and rumours and deadlines, etc., get in the way of supporting Celtic to a comfortable, convincing win later on tonight. That just about finishes things off for today's video. Just a wee polite suggestion, encouragement: if you are new to the channel, not yet subscribed, please do click that subscribe button. Do click the like button if you like the video or like the channel, and do pop your own thoughts, comments into the comment section regarding your predicted score, the likely lineup, and any other Celtic issues of the moment. And so until the next video, which will likely be a post-match reaction video, goodbye and hail, hail.